Howdy, Roundabout. No, fuck you. This is not that podcast.
This is a new podcast.
It's a new podcast.
A better one.
Yes.
Some might say.
Yeah.
Looking
better
at
than the podcast that you have no idea we're talking about.
But that's what makes it funny.
Yay! We're making fun of someone, but
Yes.
it's okay. You don't know them. It's fine.
But
Unless
we do.
you're that person who's listening, then fuck you. Anyway, hi. This is a brand new podcast among, the many, because, having a podcast is a new fad.
It's hip.
Yeah, it's hip. Not a
Trendy.
lot of people are doing it.
No.
So we thought we'd just, hop on this
Yeah,
bandwagon.
that would be trailblazers.
Yeah. Well, it's still hot and fresh. Maybe make it a trend, since not many people have podcasts.
No.
Especially people who have nothing else on their channel to start with, and this is what we're jump-starting it with.
Yes.
A podcast.
Yes.
We're being very original. My name... My name is Chris, and my co-host is...
I'm Jared, and because this is an audio podcast, you probably can't tell the difference between the two of us. I'm black, and you can tell that because at the beginning of every podcast, I will always open up with the N-word.
And if you can't tell, I'm white, and you can always tell that because I would open every podcast with the N-word. Yeah, so we're a comedy podcast. We're just two best friends. So let us tell you how we became best friends. We went to film school, and we just recently graduated. Jared, how was film school for you now that you're graduated?
Just to preface, we didn't go to film school. We went to college. We went to a university
that had a film program that only had... Yeah.
We did not go to film school, so if you hear us talk anything about movies, take it with a grain of salt because we don't know anything.
No.
And that is on nobody's fault but our own because we're both really fucking stupid.
We are, but we have a bachelor's degree and really nothing to show for. So we're giving you something to hear for.
Yeah.
Good pun.
But anyway,
Yeah.
how did I come to be friends and eventually move in with this stupid fuck over here?
Well, you moved out just recently because you graduated, but you still come to hang every now and then.
Oh, don't worry, I'm gonna talk about that later.
What? Okay.
So, Chris and I first met in our cinema appreciation class with one of our old professors. Shout out Jason Penguin Pepperoni Nips.
Hey.
And
Jason Pangilinan. Jason Pangilinan. Great teacher.
If you prefer to pronounce it correctly. Pangilinan.
Pangilinan? Pangilinan.
Not Pangilinan.
I have been saying it like a bigot this whole time.
Well, that's because Jake started it and Jake is stupid.
I thought that's how... Okay, well, shit. I feel bad now.
No, because he's Filipino, so it's Pangilinan.
Pangilinan.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not Pang, it's Pong.
I'm also from Mississippi, so I can never pronounce foreign names correctly.
You're inherently racist. Yes.
And
again, we're getting off track already. We're getting off track, and you were worried about the runtime.
Yeah, that's true.
So we met each other in Jason's class, and all this is like you sit in a big room and you watch movies, and thematically you break them down and you analyze them. And so for the first 3 months of the class, Chris and I did not have any affiliation with each other.
I think it wasn't even until the second year that we really started actually talking.
No,
really.
We didn't. We talked to each other. It was the last 2 screenings in cinema appreciation because we had a mutual friend. Her name is Helen, and so before then, Chris sat in the front-ish area, and I kind of sat in the back with Helen.
I was always a loner. I was very quiet and shy.
And ugly.
I'm still 2 of those 3 things.
2 or 3 ain't bad. Anyway.
Yeah.
So the last 2 or 3 screenings is when Chris was like, "Hey, I'm gonna sit with you guys," and he sat next to me. And it was obviously he was friends with Helen, but I didn't know who he was, and so he sat next to me. I was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" $10. And so it was this dude got really big eyes, and he's not saying much. He's kind of a weirdo.
Yeah.
But, you know.
How has that changed?
Nothing.
I still haven't gotten that eye surgery. The only reason we are doing this podcast is so that we can have enough money for my eye surgery. I have big bowling ball eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Which is why this is just an audio podcast. Cause...
His face would not fit in the frame.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But after
the sacrifices we make for you
I'm trying to
guys.
tell the people how we met, because we still got a long way to go.
I just had a joke and continue.
And so after that, we didn't talk to each other for like the rest of the school year up until we did finals. So we were also in each other's intro to production class.
Yeah.
Which again, up until the last day, never. Honestly, I don't even think I noticed you. I just tunnel visioned my way through that class. It was crazy.
Rotate the mic a bit. Yeah, there you go. I'm looking at the waveforms. I'm just making sure you're good.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, this is the first time we're doing this.
Well, it's actually the third time.
This is the first time we're doing this, Jared. They don't know that. This is the first time we're doing this. We have an excuse to be shit. Anyway, Continue, Jared.
So, we worked on our first production, which was our friend Helen's final. And I don't think we talked to each other on that one either.
No, we didn't. Like I said, we didn't really talk to each other until the second year.
Yeah, so, you fast forward, and now we're in intermediate with our good buddy Jason.
Yep.
And he tells us, hey, listen, you guys are going to have to work together, and you got to get to know these people. And I said, shit.
And boy, did we get to know each other.
Yeah, boy. Whew.
We have all seen each other's penises.
Well, you haven't seen... Oh, well, no, you did. But that didn't come till much later.
Yeah. Nice. Come. Penis. Anyway.
So, we started working on each other's projects with, there's a group of us. We don't need to say names. They know who they are, assuming they ever watch this. But we all started working together. There's about 5 of us.
Mm-hmm.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Some of them graduated before we did. But so we all started working on each other's projects, and we began to spend like an ungodly amount of time with each other. Like, it was terrible.
We went from being acquaintances to friends to family. And
a step beyond family, which I'm not sure what that is. Is that lovers?
I don't know, man. Like I said, we've all seen each other's penises, but
and it didn't take very long. It was about 2 months in.
It didn't. Speaking of which, kind of segue into that, and we'll get back on this whole story in a little bit. But yesterday, Claire, my wife, by the way, you'll hear a bit of her. She'll be on this next episode. Claire has never seen Jackass. She's never seen any of them. And yesterday we watched Jackass 4.5, where they show, like... Have you seen Jackass, right?
I have not seen
You haven't seen any of the Jackass
All I know
movies?
is insert my name, Wilkin a Jackass.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a bunch of stunt guys who do a lot of stupid shit. Well, the 0.5s are the ones where they show all the bits that they couldn't show in theater. And really, it's all the bits where they stick shit up their buttholes and put things on their penises. There was a guy who, Steve-O, actually, love him. He put a fish in his ass and then had a fish hawk come and eat it.
Why?
And then they're like, hey, that wasn't funny enough, so they tied it to his balls. And yeah. And here's the thing, Claire was like, I don't want to watch things like that. That sounds stupid. She was laughing the whole time while I was just like hurting. Like my ball, like, you know how you like watch a movie as a guy and then you see something like, you see a guy get hit in the nuts in like a very creative way. And it's not really that funny. It more just kind of hurts you. That's how I was feeling the whole time watching Jackass 4.5. And Claire was just laughing.
Potential fetish, maybe.
Maybe. That is a fetish, ball crushing. Yeah. And we'll get into our porn stories later. But anyway, back into how we all got to know each other. I'm going to do this a lot. As they all know, I'm the lovable asshole with ADHD. So, yeah.
Lovable is subjective, by the way.
True. You'll also hear me do this thing where I'm like, I'll talk about this later, and I never do. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I thought you were going to do the Nighthawk screech. Anyway.
No.
So within the first few months of meeting these people, for my third project, there was a girl who I just met, not really good friends with. I had her strip down into her underwear to film a scene in my film, which I didn't think was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because when it's like, oh yeah, you just need like some shorts and a shirt. Apparently, as you gotta specify the type of clothes to wear, because girls have more than just shorts and shirts. There's jeans, there's bras, there's types of underwear. It's like, I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that. How was I supposed to know? So that was my first encounter with one of them, and then,
like I said, we've all seen each other's penises, even the women.
And then for the next film, Chris had me dress up in a black skin morph suit.
Okay, so that, since we're putting this on the Nighthawk channel, that video is on this channel. You can watch this. It's called TikTok.
Actually, you can. I am the one in a black skin-tight morph suit.
Yeah.
Oddly enough. So
he white-faced.
It was a mask.
The scene where we pour fake blood on him,
let's make that clear. It was a mask. I did not whiteface. It was a mask.
Well, if they watch the video, they'll know.
Oh, so, yeah. So go watch the video. Like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Hit that noti bell. You see, we're really hitting all those stereotypical YouTuber quotes, aren't we? Anyway, so Chris put me in a skin-tight morph suit. When I mean skin-tight, you could see everything. There was no hiding anything. So when I put it on, I tried to leave on my shorts because I didn't want people to see like my deals. But you could see like the shorts were bunching up, so I had to take off the shorts. And I was in boxers, and I was like, I'm not going commando in this morph suit. So I left the boxers on, and I said, "Hey, Chris," and he said, "What?" I said, "This is real tight," and I moved my hands, and you could very clearly see
your junk. Yeah,
you can very clearly see. And again, these are people that I just met, though. Who we've spent a little bit of time with each other, but like I'm gonna show you like my cock and balls.
Yeah,
that's at least like third film material right there.
Yeah.
Plus, again, there was a female there who I just met, and I don't really want to expose my dick.
Wasn't my wife?
No. Well,
it was
well, Claire was there. Was Claire there?
She was, yeah.
Oh, well, that too.
Yeah.
Because she blew up at Jake. Yeah, that's right.
On that set?
Yeah, because that's when he... Oh, no, that was...
That was a different one.
Yeah, that was a different one.
Yeah, anyway.
But Claire was on that set, and Anna was on that set, and I just met these two. Now, granted, I asked one of them to, like, be naked before, but, like... But, so... Chris was like, yeah, so I know that I've already put you through enough, but now I'm going to pour fake blood all over you in this skin-tight jumpsuit. And so I said, okay. And I underestimated just how much blood was going to be poured on top of me for multiple takes because can't nobody remember the damn action.
Yeah, so I was a bad director then because that was not the first time I had physically hurt Jared. I haven't put this video on YouTube, and I'm not going to, but I have a video where he is acting alongside the woman he's talking about, and there was a scene where I had to have her like slam his head on a desk because he had handcuffed her and tried to poison her, and now she's trying to escape. And instead of, I kept saying that, like, try to make it to where it doesn't hurt too bad, but make it real because I need to hear the sound, even though I ended up just using a sound effect. Yeah, no, I was real stupid. I was really stupid. Chris. And here's the thing. Yeah, that shit was real. And also, he cut his head and he actually bled.
Okay, so let me...
Dr. Seuss, I rhymed.
We'll get back to TikTok. But for this film, it was me and Autumn, the woman from the previous one that I was talking about. Not only Autumn and I had to rehearse this multiple times because we had one white shirt, which is what I was wearing. We had one shirt. Well, we had two, but Claire was very adamant that she wanted to return the second one, so we had one take essentially. So Autumn and I were meticulously rehearsing each part of the thing: the splash, the pull down.
Oh yeah.
The scream and everything to make it as fluid as possible and as safe as possible. And we're like, okay, after about like 15 minutes, I was like, we got it. We're ready to go we're ready to do the take. And apparently, when the camera rolls, Autumn forgets all the finesse straight out the window. She threw the tea in my face, missed my face completely, hit like my ear. I have an ear full of tea. She grabs me by the tie, chokes me, which I'm okay with, chokes me, slams my head against the desk, scratches across my forehead, and pulls me so hard that we actually knock the table that's on top of like stilts for stability.
Yeah.
We knock the table over and break the table.
Yeah. Good times.
She also punched me in the eye. So I got scratched on the forehead, punched in the eye, slammed into a desk, and had an ear full of tea.
We were still learning film etiquette at that time. So we had to go through a few Jareds. We broke Jared a lot. Yeah. And it didn't help that you were the only black guy in the department.
No, that is true.
That was taking all the abuse.
I will say, though,
so
for anytime anyone ever had like a stunt on set, I was always the one doing the stunt.
But it's because you were the only one who was like actively like athletic.
I know, and that's the thing. I was all for it because I love doing cool shit.
Yeah.
For another one of my projects, I climbed on top of a parking deck and dangled off of it to get an aerial shot for people.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And it made everybody in the class uncomfortable. It even made our professor uncomfortable, which means
that was the point. That was the point. Yeah.
I achieved my goal.
Yeah.
And to this day, it was fucking terrible, but probably the best thing I've ever felt.
Oh, dude, can you imagine if a big gust of wind hit you like
crazy thing enough, I actually almost fell off the parking deck for real. So I had to do it multiple times. I had to go back 2 separate days because I filmed one at night because everything else was at night. And I was like, but you can't really tell everything that's going on because I didn't know how to adjust the ISO and the exposure back then because I was fucking stupid.
We were real fucking stupid then. We almost killed a lot of people.
Yeah, so I went back the next morning, climbed on top of the parking deck, and I had to send a text message to my friends and be like, hey, if I don't call you back at scheduled amount of time, call my mom and tell her that I'm probably in the hospital because I probably fell off of this parking deck. And that's true.
You should have had somebody to like brace you. At least call one of those friends.
I didn't have friends at the time. So this was Nico and Chase and all of them.
Oh, your online friends who are like in Chicago and shit?
Chicago, Texas, and at the time Virginia.
While you're in little old Alabama?
Yes. Well, Ashlyn is close because she's in Virginia. So when I went back in the morning to get this shot, and I was dangling off the parking deck, and I was like, okay, I got it. And as I went to throw my leg back over and stand up, I fell backwards. And I had to fall to the side to try to like keep my balance. I ended up falling on my ass on the pavement, but I guess it's better than falling 4 or 5 stories. How tall is our parking deck? It's easily
it's like 6 stories.
6 stories.
Yeah.
So I almost died doing a stunt for a film. But hey, that's what we do. Back to TikTok because we're getting off topic again. Back to TikTok.
Oh yeah, not the app, my film.
Yeah. So after Chris poured all of this fake blood all over me multiple times, it dries very quickly because it's corn syrup and chocolate syrup.
Yeah.
So it dries extremely quick, and it's wax. That's all it is. It's just wax.
Yes.
And because I'm not wearing anything under this morph suit, at the end of the film, I gotta take this thing off.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So I went to the bathroom, and I got like the chest part off relatively easy. It pulled some chest hair, but like it wasn't too bad. Mm. But remember, because of the way gravity works, all of the blood has pooled on my lower half, like where my pubic hair is. And so I have to take off the morph suit, which is fine. I get that off, but I look and my boxers are like painted around my waist, like glued to my crotch. And I was like, uh-oh. This is a problem. And I went to pull, and the thing is hard as a fucking rock. It is hard. Like, I think I could probably knock you out with how hard my boxers were.
Yeah, no, your boxers were real fucking hard.
They were. They were.
Yeah.
I had to go commando for the rest of the night.
Yeah, it's like you could throw those things as like shurikens.
I could.
And it'll stick into the wall.
Yes.
I felt real bad because you were saying that like your pee-pee was stuck to your thigh, and you had to rip your pee-pee off your thigh.
Yeah, it was more so the pubic hair. I didn't really care about ripping the pee-pee off.
Yeah.
It was the hair. I was involuntarily waxed.
Oh, I could. Yeah. Well, hey, that's a free wax that you didn't get charged for.
It did half, and it did a really shitty job.
That's true.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
I could have poured some on the other thigh.
No.
No.
It wouldn't have even been out. It would have just been spotty.
Well, that was the little story.
We still haven't gotten to how I fucking moved in.
All right, well,
but that's okay because we're taking up too much time already. And
it's okay. It's okay. Well, Jared, real quick, talk about how you moved in with me and my wife.
Well,
I'm married, by the way.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So before me, Chris had another nigga who we roomed with, and eventually, he moved out and it was like, hey, we got an open room for anybody who wants to move in. And at first, it was like our good buddy Jake. Hey, I think I'd like to move in with you, Chris.
And then
I've got like 3 other people who I'm trying to move in with. I was like, oh, okay, well, I would definitely like to move into somewhere because I don't want to live on campus with a bunch of little terrorists anymore. But I couldn't.
Wait, did you actually live on terrace? On campus with terrorists?
Well, pretty much the amount the fire alarm went off every night because something was on fire every night.
Well, yeah, but that was usually because people couldn't cook or because they were, getting cooked. I.e. the weeds, the marijuanas.
The point is, I didn't like my dorm being on fire every night. So it's like, yeah, I'll move in with Chris. And Jake was like, oh, no, bro, I might do that. And I was like, okay, well, I kind of need to know now because housing closes in, now. So what's up? And Jake prolonged up until, housing is already closed. And I had to, say, hey, I'm moving back in or else I'd be homeless.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm moving back into housing. And then one of Jake's roommates was like, oh, yeah, did Jake tell you that we're living together now? And I said, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
When was this established? Oh, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
And so now,
well, the thing is, I didn't know that was established until 2 weeks after the fact. So I was still thinking that he was going to be rooming with me. And then I'm like, well, shit, had I known that, I would have told, you about it. But, it's all good. It all worked out.
Well, it worked out for everybody but me because now I have a dorm that I'm paying for on top of an apartment that I'm also paying rent for. And it's not like I can pay a lot because my job pays me $7.25 an hour and I can only work 40 hours out of the week.
Yeah.
But
it's fucking crazy that minimum wage is still $7.25 considering that
just for that job.
Yeah,
for that job specifically. There are other jobs in that same building that pay $14.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, it's crazy that they're paying $7.25 at all when gas is nearly $5 a gallon.
Well, pretty much.
That's and even when that happened, it didn't change.
No.
I'm making $10 an hour at where I'm working right now, and at the time when I got hired, that was decent. Now that is minimum wage for most places.
Yeah. So after that, it's like, well, even though I'm paying for 2 different places, I'd rather live here than live on campus again. So I moved in with Chris and his lovely wife, and
hey, watch it.
I moved in with Chris and his fugly ass wife.
That's better. Now I don't feel threatened.
Well, we can talk about the first impression I had of your wife.
We'll talk about that when she's
on
the podcast.
So I move in with both of the people, and at first it's like, oh, it's kind of weird because I'm good friends with Chris at this time. It's like, me and Claire have spoken a few times, but we're friends, but we're not Chris and I close. So I was like, it's probably gonna be awkward for a while, and for a while, it was. I was trying to get my footing. It's like I never felt like I lived here because none of the furniture was mine, and I moved in with nothing but a prison cot. So it was like I don't know. I kind of just feel like I'm just I'm like a drifter, kind of just crashing on the couch, except, I'll pay for a little bit of rent, so I'm a little bit better than your bum ass uncle, So
Yeah, I do have a bum ass uncle.
Yeah.
But, everybody's got one of those, especially when he grew up in Cowshit County, Mississippi.
Yes.
Which
and so, Chris, I'm trying to please.
I've been giving you like
Please.
85% of the floor this entire episode.
So after a while, we all get pretty comfortable with each other, and we become like super cool, good friends, and now we're best buds who used to live with each other. I moved out because I can't afford this place anymore because I don't have a job anymore because I graduated. And Chris did not hesitate to turn my room into a studio, which we are filming.
The week he moved out, I like ordered a green screen. Well, because I'm like, I've been wanting to do this YouTube shit for a while. I just graduated. I don't really have anything that I'm super proud of. I want to actually start getting on a consistent schedule of all these skits that I've been writing and producing them, and also doing this podcast and just, making this channel an actual YouTube channel. So, yeah, and we're recording in it right now, and, I'm just kind of talking shop real quick, but the sound doesn't sound too great right now. We got an AC going, it's low, and I'm also going to get some sound suppression panels in here. But hopefully, if you guys stick around as we do this, it will get some better quality, and we'll have more than just podcasts and a few skits. So yeah, but I'm not really going to talk too much about it because I don't want to build up on any empty promises, which I have a tendency to do.
Yes.
You done, Jared?
Yeah, good enough.
All right, can I talk about myself?
Yeah, sure, go ahead. Self-absorbed, narcissistic.
Yeah. Oh, I love
piece
myself.
of shit.
That's actually a lie. Sometimes I get real sad boy, and I don't like myself.
Talk about yourself, Chris.
Alrighty. Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of what Jared said, we met each other in film school, and I'm just going to talk about it real briefly, just to give you the rundown on the people that are going to be active in this little circle of this channel. We got Jared, my good buddy. I'm Bird, he's black, hence why this the title of the podcast is Blackbird. That was one that we came up with together. So don't call me racist. And moving on to the other people that he was talking about. Jake, you heard a lot of. Speaking of how we have seen everybody's penises, Jake is no exception. The first video that's on this channel is Super Oreo Modesty. He plays Mario, and you'll see Jake and a lot of other things. You'll see Jake on this channel. We also have a second channel that we will be a part of, but not as much, BFD, which should be coming out soon, and I'll give a link to that channel. Once this goes out, there probably isn't going to be anything up there, but hopefully if you're listening to this like a year or two down the road, we'll hopefully have a lot to show for. But yeah, we got our buddy Kyle. So okay, we got me, Chris Whitehead, we got Jared Donald, and then we got Jake Ferrier, and then Kyle Petrock. Oh, I'm doxing all of them.
All of us like
I'm just saying
my government name. Everyone's government name. Chris, relax.
Yeah, no, they know what they're signing up for. But anyway, yeah, no, it'll be me, Jared, Jake, and Kyle. And possibly some other people. My lovely wife, Claire. So yeah, that's everybody. A little bit about me. Well, you'll find more out as the show goes on. I don't like to put it all out there. I like for it to unravel. I like to stay a little bit of a mystery. That way people got just a little bit of nugget of something to get hooked on, So, speaking of hooks, getting hooked on, which is like an insinuation to drugs, let's tell a little story about our academic year, which you already did a good bit of, so I'll tell a little story. Something that happened to me more recently while I was in college. I was at the university late at night because I was editing there because my laptop kind of crapped out, as it does. And I was like, I left something in my car. I'm going to go check my car for the thing. And then I walked out, and then there was an old man in my driver's seat and at first I was like, okay, that very much looks like my car. Maybe that's just someone else's black 2013 Corolla with the front bumper popped out a little bit. And so I kept walking closer to it, and I'm like, no, that's definitely my car because my shit is in it. And there was definitely an old man in the driver's seat trying to figure out how to turn it on. And so I don't know why I was so calm when I did this, but I approached the driver's side door and I knocked on the window. And then the dude, like, you could tell, obviously, he had some kind of, like, Alzheimer's or something, because, like, when I knocked, he was, like, fucking, like, scared, and he opened the door, and he did not know where he was, and he was like, I thought this was my car, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, it's fine. And then he, like, gets out, and then, like, I get my shit out of my car, and I make sure that I lock it, which I could have sworn it was locked, but, you know, it probably wasn't. And so I watched this old guy go over to what is his car because he's able to, like, unlock it. And then he sits in there for a little bit, does nothing, gets out, and then walks down a dark alleyway. And I've never seen him since. And it was like 11 o'clock at night, and this was a very, very old man, and it was like Sunday, and he was dressed in, like, church clothes. And, like, when I say this guy was old, like, he was old. He was, like, in his 80s or 90s. Like, the type of age where you probably shouldn't be driving. And the crazy thing is, his car was not at all the color of mine. It didn't even look like mine. It was like a fucking beige-looking, like, Lexus or something, and I had a black 2013 Corolla.
Piece of shit, by the way.
Yeah, and my tag number is. But yeah, so. So anyway, yeah, that's a little story about my experience in college. It had nothing to do with the actual school thing, but you know, I just thought that's a little funny thing. Incest is a thing. I wrote down topics that we could talk about, and I just looked at my notepad, and I saw that incest was the next thing. Yeah, so we live in Alabama, which if you know, Jared here, he grew up in Alabama all his life. I grew up in Mississippi, and I never lived anywhere else until I finally, you know, got into college. I did 2 years of community college, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna move out, and then I moved all the way to Alabama, and it is very different because there's not as much incest, although there is incest in Alabama. People give Alabama the whole trope of being an incest state. Mississippi definitely takes the first prize, blue ribbon.
So if I jump in just for
a
second here. So all of this came about because, you know, seeing as how Chris and I both hail from literally the dumbest states in the country.
Oh yeah.
Number 49 and 50.
Well,
not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. You one-upped whoever the fuck is at the bottom.
Nah, I was happy that Mississippi was at 50 for a while. Or 51. There's 51 states, is there not? I don't know. I grew up in Mississippi. That wasn't funny. But, shit, is there 51 or 50? I feel bad if I Google this.
There should just be 50. If
really?
not, now I sound like a fucking dumbass.
Yeah, I know. No one thinking. I know Puerto Rico is technically like it is like a United States.
That's a territory.
It's a territory, but it's not a state. Hang on, how many states are there? Jesus, and I have a bachelor's degree.
Well, you're an art major. So.
That's true. I'm an art major, which means nothing. Literally, like, I got... Okay, so there are 50 states in America.
You okay? You see?
For some reason, oh my God.
And that's what that 49 in the fucking state education gets you.
I know.
I at least knew that there were 50 because there's always one below us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I compare
Jeez,
Alabama
that actually happened.
to anything, I would compare Alabama to Mississippi because essentially they're both twins. So
Yeah,
I mean,
they
like,
are.
they look exactly the same. If you were to like flip Mississippi over, it would fit perfectly inside Alabama because they're twins and they both love incest.
And they love fitting perfectly inside of
They
each
do.
other.
So, you know, everyone does give Alabama like, oh, you guys, you like fucking your cousin.
Yeah,
was
no,
like, well-
Mississippi, that shit actually
Well,
happens.
it's like, well, I mean, we're just doing what we see our big brother doing, you know. So that's all it is. Mississippi, they started the trend. We're just like, you know, we're the younger twin by only a few minutes, but we're still the younger twin.
Yeah.
So we're kind of looking at Mississippi, like seeing what they're doing over there, like, oh, okay. I mean, yeah, if Big Bro's doing it, we'll give it a shot, and so that's how we got into it, you know. And so, that being said, it was like, well, what would happen if an incestuous family started a family on top of a radiation farm? Which is the entire plot behind one of the worst but probably greatest horror movies of all time, Wrong Turn.
Real quick before you go into Wrong Turn, I'm going to take a different turn into what you just said a little bit ago. Did you say that Alabama was the younger state?
In terms of incest, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, Alabama really is the younger state. Mississippi was founded 2 years before.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah.
There you go. You see, we're just copying what Big Brother does.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Big Brother is not...
You could tell that Mississippi is definitely dumber just by the way it looks because, like, on the map, because of the Mississippi River, it's got those, like, weird, like, squiggles. Like, if a kindergartner tried to, like, draw Alabama and Mississippi, they'd be more accurate with Alabama because there's more, like, straight lines, like, all throughout, except for those little, like, fishtails that each one has.
The kindergartners have fishtails?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm talking about the states. Like, at the bottom of each state. There's that Alabama education right there.
Yeah,
it's
I
okay.
went to public school in the middle of a cornfield, so already, you know,
and we made it out with bachelor's degrees. So you know,
again, that's not.
If anyone can do it,
yeah, if two incestuous states can do it, then you can do it
You
too,
can do it
Nebraska.
too.
But if can I talk about Wrong Turn now?
yeah, talk about Wrong Turn.
So Wrong Turn, you know, it starts off like your typical like when did this movie come out? 80s, 90s type movie. You know, it's like, oh, a bunch of stupid kids, college kids are like, oh, we're going on a trip to wherever the fuck, and in our big van with our final girl and our other friends. Yes.
Real quick, like, give the one sentence description that you gave me earlier.
If I can remember it. What was the one sentence description?
You said it was like the whole premise is what if like an incest couple had incest on a radioactive landfill?
Oh yeah.
And you said that shit's pretty scary.
Oh yeah, it's fucking terrifying. The final result is terrifying because, you know, not only do you get all the birth defects of an incest baby, but now you get like the powers of the Incredible Hulk because radiation equals super strength. If there's one thing I've learned from superhero movies, so now on top of the
Wait, is this a superhero movie?
No, but you know, radiation. That's how everyone gets their powers, is like by radiation. On top of the incest strength that you get.
You know, it's weird that word's better.
On top of the incest strength, you also have radioactive strength. So now they're just these super buffed, ugly golem-looking motherfuckers who are ripping door handles off cars and picking people up with one arm and pinning them against trees and killing people. And honestly, the thought of that, because that is very much reality. That could happen. And that shit is terrifying.
It is weird. Incest people are a lot stronger than normal people.
And you know why?
Well,
You know
all
why.
of WWE.
What? What?
Which is what incest people watch. I guarantee you, like more, like nearly 50% of WWE's like audience is people from Tennessee, Mississippi, and Alabama. I guarantee you. I almost know that from a fact. And that is where the most incest happens. Unless you're in one of those cult states in the Midwest. That's a different type of incest.
Well,
that's not dumb incest. That's just like, inhuman incest.
Philadelphia is considered like the wrestling capital, and so is Oklahoma. Those are like
no, I'm talking about WWE wrestling. I'm talking about...
That's what I'm talking about. Those are considered like the WWE wrestling capitals. So I
don't know, man.
Oklahoma, probably.
I don't know, man. I mean, fair enough. The furthest north I've ever gone has been like St. Louis. So
good old Missouri.
Good old Missouri, which essentially is Mississippi. It kind of sort of is a clone of Mississippi, but just northern Mississippi. Anyway,
yeah, so Wrong Turn, crazy movie. I would really only recommend like the first and the second one. After that, it kind of just like flies off the handles.
It was pretty much every horror movie.
Yeah, but hey, also this is the only scene I remember, and I think it's in the third one. So like, because they're an incestuous family, obviously they have to keep it in the family. So
yeah.
and in this specific scene, like they've built up the love interest in the incestuous cult between, I forget the names. We'll call one of them Spoon and the other one Fork.
That wasn't their actual names of the movie?
No.
I would fucking love it if it was. That's awesome.
So we'll call the man...
And their offspring is Spork!
We'll call the husband Spoon, the wife Fork, and I guess their offspring will be Spork. Yeah. So Spoon was like, as he was like, killing the campers, he came across like the final girl. He's like, oh, she's really pretty. I wanna do the thing with her. And then he was like, I'm gonna take you back to my lair though, where my wife is, and do it there because I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
And so he does that, and then Fork, honey, I'm home. She comes in and she's like, what are you doing with that bigot bitch on our damn couch?
Damn.
And he's like, wait, honey, it's not what it looks like. My pee-pee is out and she's naked, but I promise it's not what it looks like.
Yeah.
I'm about to kill her. And so Spoon and Fork get into a fight, and while this is happening, Final Girl's like, I'm going to take it upon myself to now kill one of you. I'm not sure who I'm going to kill. I forgot how she does it. I think she like electrocutes one of them with somehow or something. Or she stabs one of them through. She kills Spoon. And so Fork is now like, hey, you killed my husband who was going to raise our child. And then she reveals she's got little baby Fork with her. And it's like, well, I guess now I gotta kill your baby and you now. So
Jesus,
they all die. The whole incestuous family dies in every movie, but because there's so fucking many of them, because they multiply like goddamn cockroaches, it just keeps fucking going.
Wait, are you saying that like the movies multiply, or like the incest family in the movie multiplies? That's crazy.
Both. Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes. Speaking
of cockroaches, you get a lot of those in single-wide trailers. And speaking of single-wide trailers,
these fucking transitions, dude.
they're the reason I'm not just shitting on Mississippi and southern states with incest. My mother is a mail carrier, and we actually had an incest family who like lived on our road because she delivered mail to them. And the husband and wife is brother and sister, and they have like 7 kids or something in a single wide trailer. It's actually kind of it is pretty sad, but it's kind of funny what incest does to you. Because the woman looks a lot like the husband, and she has like facial hair and shit. And yeah, it's a real sad scenario because all the kids are in special ed. And I don't really know where I was going with that. Yeah. I'm just trying to say that like I'm not just pulling it out of my ass with a stereotype that like Mississippi and Alabama, what are you fucking your brother? That really happens. That actually happens. I'm confirming the stereotype. It actually happens.
Yeah. But not as much in Alabama as it does in Mississippi.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true. I will say, this is the most liberal town I have ever lived in. Because growing up in Calshit County, Mississippi, you don't got a lot of diversity or anything, and I would say like any college town. Well, not any college town, because most of the college towns in Mississippi are not. Yeah, I know. I'm looking at the time. Any. I wouldn't say any college town, because most college towns in Mississippi, it's not very inclusive, even though they try to be. Alabama isn't really too much better, but it is a little bit better. And
I mean, again, we're just doing what Big Bro's doing.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
I will say, like, the town that we live in here, we still live in Mississippi, but this town, being a college town, it is very, for the most part, different than any other surrounding town in this area in Alabama. Because if you're in this town, you know, it is way more liberal, way more open, way more diverse, which is great. And but if you like just go out just a few miles in any other town, it's like I'm back in Calshit County. Which, you know, I mean, sometimes you gotta get a break, but you know. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just talking, you know.
Okay, well,
yeah,
because we've probably I think we've held the audience hostage.
Yeah, we have. We're at 47 minutes.
Yeah, it's probably about time to wrap up.
That's fine.
No, because you know we're not trying to have hour-long episodes. You know,
well, this is the first one, so we just gotta say, you know, hey, what's up, guys?
People got wives and jobs and kids.
Speaking of wives, next episode, mine will be on this podcast, and we're just gonna have a nice little chat. And so
it'll be a good one.
Yeah.
If you don't want to watch this one, and I don't blame you. You don't want to watch the next one.
Well, I promise you. Well, okay, I can't make empty promises. Hopefully, you know, the coming episodes, as we do this a little bit more, get kind of in the hang of it. We're still kind of in the test run phase, but as we keep going, you know, hopefully these get a little bit more smoother, a little bit more entertaining. But if you're listening to this, we really appreciate you listening to our first little episode, one of the first little videos on this channel, and hopefully, you know, you can stick with us and watch it grow. Hopefully it will grow, and we don't just, you know. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Owen Wilson ourselves to where we can't smell how shitty this channel has become.
Oh.
Because, you know, Owen Wilson broke his nose. All right. Anyway.
Well, yeah, but you know, before we wrap up,
yeah,
you know, we'll do one more little academic story time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, and then we'll let you guys go back to your families. So. I guess it'll be it's my turn now.
Yeah, it is.
So, I had a story that I wanted to tell. You know, it was more of like a childhood regret, but you know, we'll probably save that one for another episode. But since we already mentioned it, I'd also like to go back to one of Chris's films that I worked on, the T one specifically, where I got my face bashed into a fucking table. Specifically that one, because there were actually ramifications for what happened after.
Yeah, you know how I said Alabama, like this town is very liberal and open. This is an exception.
So, after we had wrapped up Chris's film, we were going back to at the time only his and his other roommate's apartment, and before it was like, hey, you guys want to stop and let's all get some alcohol because we're gonna hang out for a bit. And they're like, yeah, that sounds cool. So we all carpooled, and I carpooled with Autumn, who was the girl who slammed.
It was just you and the girl.
Yes,
and so. If I can butt in real quick, in this film, we used makeup to give Autumn a black eye, and I told you guys, hey, maybe a good idea if you wash that off before you go anywhere, if you're going to stop anywhere before coming to my apartment.
Well, hold on, sir, okay. If I can.
Okay.
The message that Autumn and I were both given was, don't walk around with that on your face. And going to set, we didn't. Autumn didn't put it on until she got to set for that reason.
Yeah.
But after a long day of filming, it's been on her face for God knows how many hours. Thank you, Chris. It's been on her face for who knows how long. Kind of forgot it was there, so we wrap up. And we're like, yeah, Autumn and I, we're gonna go get alcohol. So, yeah, we do that. We're driving. We stop at the first liquor store. And we got something for, we both went in. We both go in, and we got something for Chris. We got him, like, some Corona, because he used to drink that nasty shit. So we got him that.
I'm drinking dark beers now.
Yeah. And as we were walking through the store, people kept kind of looking at us all, like, all weird, like, and like, okay, what's going on? And so we got to the counter, and there was, like, a lady in front of us. She was like, hey, how are you guys? We're like, good. Just kind of tired, Yeah. Okay, thanks. And so we get to the cashier, and she's also another woman, so she's kind of looking at us, She didn't say anything, but she kind of had like that look on her face, like, do I say something? And so she pays. We pay for our stuff, and I know it. So at the time, it very much looked like Autumn and I were together. Because Autumn, she would say, hey, thanks, honey, or thanks, sweetie. So it makes it sound like we're together, and so that already sets a bad visual. So we leave the first one and we call Chris. We're like, hey, we got the stuff. And he's like, yeah, can you go pick up something for who else another? I'm like, oh, okay, I kind of don't want to go back to that same liquor store because they were kind of giving us weird looks. So we're going to go to a gas station instead and get that. And so we did. And this one was... an old white man was behind the counter. And, I'm not generalizing because, I know how it feels. But this guy definitely looks like the type to keep a shotgun under the counter. So on the way in, we also passed by a nice gentleman. He was like, hey, are y'all good? And we're like, oh, yeah, we're doing good, bud. So we walk in, and we get the alcohol, and the guy's kind of looking at us. And this guy, you can definitely tell, like, he wants to say something. You can you can see on his face he's about ready to.
Which at this point, both of you have forgotten about the black guy.
Yes.
You're not even thinking about it.
No.
Yeah.
And so she's like, hey, I need you guys to show me your IDs and stuff. Autumn's like, I forgot my wallet in the car. Can you go get my wallet, honey? And I was like, sure. She's like, thanks, sweetie. So it seems like we're together. That is the impression that we're giving to everyone, that we are a couple. And so I go out to get her wallet, and I come back in, and it's like immediately like the air has changed. Like the air is like super dry and humid. I was like, ooh, something happened. What happened? You could the energy has changed, and I'm honestly starting to sweat because I feel like something is about to happen. Yeah. And so I walk up to him, and it's like she'd show him the ID and whatnot, and it was like, oh, you're only 20, pointing to me because I was only 20 at the time. Autumn had just turned 21. So it's like, yeah, I can't sell it to you guys. Sorry. And so we're like, oh, that's okay.
You should have gone ape shit. It just started like tearing shit off of this.
No, because that is all the cause he needs to pull out that double barrel that's definitely under the counter and rock my shit, dude.
You should have punched her in the other eye.
So we leave the gas station, and I was like, hey, did something happen while I was gone? And she's like, yes. It was like, he was very concerned about me. It was like...
Oh, was he like asking questions to her?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
While I was at the car.
So at that point, did she realize what was going on, or was she still just kind of...
I think she thought it was like... Because how it all started was I went to the car. I drive a white 4-door sedan, which is like the most common car on the road. Yeah. And so he saw a white car like pull out of the gas station. He's like, did he just leave you here? And so I was like, no. And then he's like, are you okay? He was like, are you guys okay? Are you okay? It was like, she was like, yeah, I'm fine. And I came back in, and that's when he kind of just looked at me like, you little N-word, you know?
But he didn't say that.
No,
right? Okay.
but again, he very much looked like he really wanted to say something to me, something bad to me.
Yeah.
And so we leave, and she told me, like, he said all these things. I was like, why are people being so weird to us? And so we go to another gas station. It's like, all right, to avoid this mishap again, I'm going to stay in here. And I was like, I really don't want to go in here alone. Because, I'm kind of scared because it's night. I was like, I know, I get that. But I can't go in or else we're going to end up in the same predicament as last time. So I'm going to wait here. I'm going to watch over you the entire time. I'm going to watch you go in the store. I'm going to watch you coming out. No one's going to abduct you. No one's going to beat you up.
Yeah.
And so she walks in the store, and again, it's like filled with women because women just love to hang out at liquor stores, even though they're all terrified.
Yeah.
You know? So all of them were asking her, is like, hey, how are you? Are you okay? Again.
Yeah.
And she got it out. She's like, it was just more women asking me if I was okay.
She still didn't.
No.
It didn't click with either one of you, even though you are like looking straight at the fake black eye.
Well, the black eye is on the right side, is it not? It's on her right. She's in the passenger seat, so I only see her left side.
Oh, okay.
So I can only see it on her left.
Yeah.
And as we're driving, Autumn like touches the eye. She touches the eye, and she's like, "What is that?" And she looks at, she's got like purple and yellow stuff on her finger, and then she pulls down the little mirror in the car, and she's like, and I said, what? And I was like, what happened? And she's like, I still have the black eye. And that's when like everything fell into place. So I was like, oh, they think I R. Kelly'd you. They think I Chris Brown'd you, bro.
Okay, well, R. Kelly.
No, he was.
Is it? No, yeah.
One. Like they think I Chris Brown like the fuck.
Yeah,
you, dude. They think I punched you in the face.
Yeah, there wasn't enough yellow in that black eye for you to be R. Kellying her. And with that,
and so we had a good laugh about it. It made sense. I almost died. I almost got my chest cavity caved in by an old white man because the woman who actually this was during domestic abuse month, by the way. October is domestic abuse month, and it very much seemed like we were a couple because she kept calling me sweetie and honey and baby.
I'm not laughing because of domestic abuse month. I'm just laughing of how ironic that is.
Yes, I was the one who got my face slammed into a table, choked, and got my face scratched.
Yeah, you're the one who actually got abused.
Yes.
I'm sorry, buddy.
It's okay. And now we've learned from our mistakes.
Yeah.
Stop giving me roles where I have to potentially, where it's implied that I beat up women.
I promise. I promise. I'll stop doing that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thank you guys for sticking through it.
Thanks for hanging out.
We
appreciate it.
All right. Well, any final words?
Oh shit!
Jared just spilled a bunch of whiskey that we were saving for the next episode.
Fuck. Yeah. So with that, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, share, subscribe, notification bell, all that stuff. Thanks for listening again. Bye.
Bye. Yeah, stout and sauerkraut. No, fuck you. This isn't that podcast.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Love you guys. See you next time.
I'm a shit like a grown up. Fucking lives, that's the biz when you know what's up. Got the lease up now, feet up, break the beat down, catch the rebound, 3-point switch from downtown. Fucking lives like no one else. He's a